Here we go. Home stretch. This is Halloween week. So we're going to get into some heavier situations this week, I hope, between now and Halloween. I don't have a lot of favorites in the horror genre. I watch them because I'm a fan of movies. I'm a fan of stories. And there's some things that I actually like about a lot of them. If I were to think about what are some ones I really appreciate, there's only like a handful I can name. Halloween is one of those films. I think I would put Friday the 13th in that discussion. And a few others. And namely, one of today's film I'm going to be talking about today, it was such a unique watch for me. And I'd seen it once, probably, I think in 2018, 2020. And I just rewatched it. And I remembered, I've always loved it. Since I've seen it, I've loved it. And I remembered how much I really enjoyed that film. So if you're hanging out, pull up a chair, sit back and relax as we get into today's film. You're next. Let's talk about it. Oh boy. So this is actually one of those movies where I think the less said about it, the better, because it's such a surprise if you haven't seen it. And so I'll do my best to not ruin it for you, because I enjoyed talking about this movie to other people and just saying, hey, just watch this movie. What's it about? Oh, well, it's basically a slasher movie. That's pretty much usually what I say. It's a family getting together, and then somebody comes to jack them up. Check it out. But it's not what you expect. And that's usually enough to turn on the gas and get people curious about what it is. But if you don't know what this movie's about, it is essentially, it's a slasher movie, and it pulls in stuff obviously from the home invasion subgenre. But at its core, to me, feels like it fits firmly in the horror space, which is why it's another movie to watch. It's another good movie to watch during this season. You will see horror lumped up in the many genres and subgenres that this movie is described as. So I think for that reason, it works, and it's got the best, some of the best posters out there. If you look for them, they fit totally in the house of horror. The story follows the Davisons, who is a rich family, and they've invited their 4 adult children and their children's partners to come and celebrate their upcoming, I think, 30th wedding anniversary to their nice weekend home. They're having a dinner, and everything's going well until bodies start to drop. And that's when the fire gets turned on. And the Davisons have to figure out how to get out of this issue that they're in together, or there's going to be some problems. What ensues is something that is very paint by numbers. It's expected. You expect everything that happens for the first 2/3 of the movie is pretty much expected. That will probably turn a lot of people off, knowing that you can just go in. If you've seen one slasher, you've seen them all. You've seen one home invasion movie, you've seen them all. And to some extent you have. But the beauty of that for this movie is that it plays on the fact that you've seen a lot of home invasion movies. It plays on the fact that you understand the rules of the genre, and it uses that to its advantage to great effect. And it works very well. There's sufficient tension throughout this movie. After the first 20 or 30 minutes of the film, the tension is revealed, and it is slowly turned up incrementally as we get through one situation to the next situation and the next situation, and the tension continues to ramp up. And what happens within that is, with any film with tension, you have to release that tension at some point. So this movie has some jokes, some humor, some things that actually, and some breaks in the action that give us a little bit of a reprieve from some of the more hectic moments in the film. And for the most part, it definitely works. I think the only thing that's probably that might be an issue, I think, for some viewers, is the acting from some of the characters. It's kind of questionable. And I think that's one of the things I forgot in my original viewing. I just kind of went along with it and it was kind of whatever, but I loved the movie. This time the acting was a lot more glaring, and this was not the case for everyone. There were definitely certain actors, certain people that were that it was questionable. I think Joe Swanberg and Nicholas Tucci primarily, who play Drake and Felix Davison, they're brothers in the family. Their acting was questionable at times to me. Barbara Crampton, who plays the mother, she's throughout the film mostly great. There are a couple pockets where some of the acting feels like it's calibrated slightly off, but everyone else was pretty good. AJ Bowen, who plays Crispin, one of the main characters in this film, also has moments of off feeling acting, but he's mostly strong. Rob Moran as the dad is also questionable in certain parts, but I found him also to be very dad-like. I believed him as a dad, and it felt he had very moments of heartfelt expression and warmth, and I really appreciated that. I was like, oh, this guy touched the emotions. So not only does the movie have great tension, it also has fantastic execution of the brutality and the visual and practical effects, the blood effects, stuff with the props and weapons and stuff. Very well done. The choreography for some of the action that takes place is pretty strong and believable. Like, people aren't doing miraculously crazy things. Yeah, the movie has that going for it. And I think, look, the one piece I think that holds this movie together for me is Shawnee Vinson, who plays Erin. She's just amazing in this movie. She plays a believable character, and her actions are believable, and she's by far my favorite character in this movie. Honorable mention goes to Amy Seimetz, who plays Amy. She's the youngest daughter of the Davison family, and Wendy Glenn, who plays Z. She has a questionable character journey in this movie, but she's also very good. To me, I think Z and Erin were the two key characters in this movie. In this movie that had the most sort of under the surface stuff going on, came out in different points. Just as an aside, I would love to have seen a scene or another movie even that pitted Erin and Z against each other, because we get to see like both of these characters had different things that weren't obvious to the audience, that had certain things be revealed. We don't get a lot of it in this movie, but from Z's perspective, from that character, but she was mysterious enough that I was more interested in her this time, this viewing, than I was in the first viewing. But no one tops Erin. Erin is still like the best character in this movie. I'm a fan of movies that do this thing where the movie establishes all of its characters, establishes its setting, which this movie does very well, by the way. There are some great establishing shots of the location and of the outside of the house. It really sets you up for the kind of gathering this is going to be, and where the family's privilege and wealth is on display. So I'm a fan when movies display things like this. They set these things up, and we're made to believe that a certain person, or certain people, are the focal points of the story, that those are the people who we follow. And then throughout the story, pieces get shifted. It's like a wonderful chess match where we're watching a certain game, and at a certain point it seems like we know who the winner is going to be, and everything points us in that direction until things get flipped, and now we're not sure anymore. We're not sure who the winner is going to be, and likewise we're also not sure who the main characters are until the main characters are revealed. They're revealed once, and then they're revealed again in different ways and whatever. So it's always done in a surprising way, where the people you least expect end up being the people we're rooting for. This movie does a great job at that. I think Alien is another movie that does that fantastically well. If you've seen the first Alien, You know what I'm talking about, how the crew is established, the setting is established, the stakes are established, and we're following Tom Skerritt. We think Tom Skerritt is, and he's the captain, so he's our lead. He's the person we're following. And then everything gets rearranged and reshuffled. And then Ripley emerges as the character we're following. Usually it's like in the last act, the last 20, 30 minutes or so. So things really come to a head. And now it's like everything is on this one situation. And then we got to go from there to the end of the situation. This movie does something similar. And it's fun to watch. And it's thrilling. There's something cathartic about it. And it's just great. The killer in this movie, I'll say, or the threat in this movie, is also quite threatening till the end. The one thing that's annoying about movies like this sometimes is when you have a group, people who are trying to survive a killer or something like that, where the last act, the threat is sort of diminished. I've talked about this before in a few videos with other movies where you have a hero and a villain, and the villain is threatening until at a certain point the movie decides that the villain lets his or her guard down so to give the hero a moment to win. And yeah, that's usually pretty annoying to me. So this movie never does that. The threat is threatening from the beginning. As soon as they make their appearance, as soon as stuff drops, it's threatening throughout. And I really like that. And it actually makes it so that the people who are trying to survive have to work super hard to do that. It's not like an easy situation, and they're not. And the beauty about that is that the heroes, or the hero in this case, is not surviving purely on luck. Like, there is a character reason for why they know how to do certain things, but that doesn't guarantee them a win. It just means you can just stave off your death for a little bit longer. And I think throughout, for the most part of the movie, you are worried that the threat is going to overcome everything and win. There's some genuine concern there. I think this movie does a very good job of establishing that and maintaining that. I'm going to say two things. I'll leave you with two things. Number one, I thought it was cool that Ty West is in this movie. I didn't know that the first time. Ty West plays a filmmaker in this movie, obviously, who's, if you don't know who Ty West is, he's a filmmaker in real life who's directed the X trilogy. He's probably what he's best known for right now. But it's cool that he played a filmmaker in this movie. That's fine. And then that's number one. Number two, Aaron is the best. And if you don't like Aaron by the end of this movie, let me know, because I want to talk to you about why that is. No, at the end of the day, You're Next is a good time. It's a fun horror home invasion situation, and it's going to be something. It's going to catch you off guard in the best ways. And if it doesn't, again, let me know that too. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. That's going to be the end of this one. But stick around. We got more reviews coming as we head into the last few days of this week leading up to Halloween. So in the meantime, take it easy, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.